Hey, you guys, happy Thursday. I know I did not announce when I would be doing this live training because I honestly didn't know what time I would be on here. It's been kind of a crazy week. The CMW Spring Challenge officially kicked off. Actually, Sunday night we had a great group call, but we started Monday, so things have been busy in there, and I've been doing some stuff for my CMW clients. So sorry about the delay, but I did post a question earlier this week about drinking water and what are your thoughts about drinking water? And although a lot of people know that it's important to drink water, and there is no part of this training where I'm going to say it's bad to drink water. So if you're thinking, why am I talking about the good, the bad about drinking water? Like nothing bad. I'm actually drinking some wine right now. So is that bad that I'm doing a water training and I'm drinking wine? Comment in the chat if drinking wine is like water for you, or you drink wine like water. Comment in the chat. That's not necessarily me. I'm drinking a Cabernet right now. I just did my live interview with Regine, the founder of Shall We Wine. So we were drinking wine during our interview. She lost over 20 pounds with CMW and our food freedom strategy. So if you want to see that, just click on my Facebook profile, my public page, and you can check out that interview. But stay here for this talk because this is going to be a good one, talking about water. Because I cannot tell you guys how often water is a controversial topic. Like some people I work with, drinking water is a non-issue. Hey Donna, you're here, yay! So drinking water is super easy. They drink, 100 ounces, a gallon, whatever it is, no problem. Other people can barely get half of that amount. They really struggle with water, and some people are like half and half. Some days they're good about drinking water, other days they're not great. Comment in the chat where you are. Are you really good? Are you terrible drinking water? Or are you kind of one of those like inconsistent people? And truth be told, guys, there are days where I'm really awesome. And then some days where I'm like having to really keep tabs on myself. Okay, so I usually have multiple beverages. So here's my Yeti, where I drink water out of typically my Penn State. Go Nittany Lions, Penn Staters, shout out to you guys. This cup is so old. But, I'll have this around, maybe I'll have some wine around, we'll see. So tonight I have two beverages I'm drinking out of. Awesome. So anyway, I want to talk a little bit about the importance of drinking water, but also some of the consequences of drinking water that we have in our society. I'll get into that. And then the truth about how important is it to drink water for your health and your weight loss journey. And those of you who've heard me talk before, I like to give you all the information and then you get to decide what's best for you. Okay, so let's jump right into this topic, the good, the bad, and the truth about drinking water. All right, so first thing we're going to talk about, the good. Obvious, guys, come on, like hydration, right? For our body, our cells literally cannot function without water. We can go without food for a long time, right? Over a month. People do fast for long periods of time, but we cannot survive without water for not over a day, right? We need water. This is what, 3 days, right, without any water or less, right? So we really need water to hydrate, right? And it's really important because for detoxification, right? Getting rid of any, hey Chloe, getting rid of extra toxins in our body, super important for our metabolic function as well. Even if we are 2% dehydrated, all right, 2%, it will affect our energy. It will affect our metabolism. It will affect all of these bodily functions. So it's super important to stay hydrated. And oftentimes, one of the mistakes people do is they wait to drink water when they're thirsty, which makes sense. Oh, I'll drink when I'm thirsty. And some people, that's why they struggle with water, is because they're like, well, I'm never thirsty. The problem is, I'm actually thirsty right now. Hold on, no, I'm kidding. If you wait until you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So go ahead, everyone, right now, have a sip of water. Go ahead. Or wine if you got wine. Wine will dehydrate you, okay? When people tell me, oh, well, I drink a lot of coffee, does that count? No, coffee will dehydrate you as well. It takes 4 cups of water to undo the acidity of 1 cup of coffee, okay? So if you like coffee, you better be drinking more water, all right? I hate to break it to you. But yes, as I was saying before, drinking water is a necessity. It is non-negotiable. There's not one person on this planet who should tell you shouldn't drink water. You need water to live, okay? You will die without it. Also, what's great about water is it's a no calorie and there's no allergies when drinking water, right? So it's a beverage that everyone can drink, and we can drink as much as we want, not to worry about it. And it is free, right? So there's water everywhere. Now, the quality of that water we'll talk about here in a minute, but there's no excuse not to drink water, right? Like that just has to happen. Right, so obviously lots of benefits for drinking water. Something else I should have written on here, I kind of ran out of space, was that oftentimes we confuse hunger with thirst. So if we're good about drinking water, then oftentimes we'll snack less. We will, really give our body what it needs, which is hydration, not food. Okay. Comment in the chat if you notice when you drink more water, you snack less or you eat less. That happens for some people. Okay. So the bad consequences. And again, guys, it's not bad to drink water, but I want you to understand a little bit about water quality. So not all water is created equal. And unfortunately, in our society, a lot of our water supplies have been, damaged. Okay. So it is important to get good quality water. A lot of tap water sources are not good quality. Right. And I'm not going to sit here and say I never drink tap water. That's not true. Like if tap water is the only source of water that I have, I will drink it, right? Because I know it's important to hydrate myself. But yes, I definitely prefer to drink filtered tap water. I think that's the best thing to do, obviously. But the problem is a lot of people don't believe that, right? And so they go to plastic bottles, right? I know like my mom, for example, lives in Jersey and she hates the way Jersey water tastes. And I don't blame her. I grew up in Jersey and my dad's in North Jersey, my mom's in Central Jersey, and I don't like how the water tastes in either location. So they buy bottled water. The problem with bottled water, plastic, number one, it is awful for the environment. And I live in South Florida. I know a number of people here in this group live in Florida, or they live near, in California, other places by water. Even if you're by a river or a lake or the ocean, whatever. And you guys, plastic is really a problem. Like I see plastic everywhere. And even if you think you're recycling, right? Like not all the plastic you recycle gets recycled, right? It's a very small percentage. Okay. And other countries are much better about it, but in the US, they're not. I know Florida's terrible at it, right? And a lot of places you go to, a lot of restaurants, gyms, for example, they may or may not recycle. And the problem is, I remember my gym in Ashburn, Virginia, where I used to work, they did not recycle. And the reason why was because the management company of the property charged a premium for the gym to recycle. So businesses have to pay extra to have recycling as an option. Some businesses can't afford it, so it is not always easy to recycle. And even if you do recycle, plastic ends up in the ocean. I promise you. Come by where I live and you'll see it. So plastic is no bueno, and it's not good for your health. I want to talk about that. A lot of people, women particularly, that I've spoken to, they're worried about their hormones. They're like, my hormones are out of whack, and as I'm getting older, my hormones and blah, blah, blah. You want to know what is bad about plastic? How it affects your hormones. Oh my goodness, right? So if you're really concerned about your hormone health, stop drinking out of plastic bottles. At least get glass bottles because those have a better chance of getting recycled. They're not going to ruin the oceans, okay? So at least get glass bottles. That's way better. I remember when I used to live in a townhouse and, we didn't have a water system. We were getting like glass containers like brought to our house, like for good, clean water. Clean water is everything, you guys. And we are so fortunate in the United States that most of us have access to clean drinking water. There are so many people, millions and millions, probably billions, I could be wrong here, but around the world that don't have access to clean water. So take advantage of it, okay? But avoid plastic when you can, because like the BPA in plastic, right, that has been known to create like estrogens, right, in the body. And if you want to learn more about the negative impacts of plastic, right, on our body, there is a really great documentary, and it's also about the environment too, but it's called Tapped. It's on Netflix. I mean, it's a super old documentary. I used to, when I was teaching high school, we would talk about environmental issues and we watched Tapped. And if you watch a documentary, I guarantee you're not going to want to buy bottled water again because of the what they talk about. And then also watch Erin Brockovich, actually, and you'll see just how plastic really does affect people's health, right, and being exposed. So think about that next time you go to buy plastic bottles. And the problem too with bottled water is the marketing, like the markup of bottled water is ridiculous. I mean, you go buy like a high pH water for like $2-3, and it's like, first of all, that high quote unquote pH water is not going to necessarily raise the pH in your body. That is such a marketing scheme, you guys. What did I write that down? I didn't write it down here. Never mind. Oh, maybe it's over here in truth. But just because you drink high pH water, like 8.9 or whatever they have in the grocery store, doesn't mean that you're going to raise the pH. Now, there is a type of water machine out there called Kangen. So Kangen water, I believe it came out of Japan, but someone can comment in the chat if I'm wrong there. but there is a machine that can make water like 11.5 pH. That's like super high. And people who have battled with terminal illness, right, they might invest in that water system because it will help raise the pH in their body, and that can help them fight off, cancer cells. So, and chronic disease. So that's a different story. But like the water we're buying in the grocery store, I wouldn't waste your money on buying high pH water. You're better off eating a higher alkaline diet than buying high pH water. I promise you. It's better for the environment. It's better for you, and it'll save money. Spend money on good food. Don't waste it on bottled water. That should be your big takeaway from today's training. Okay. Because it's interesting. People don't want to buy organic or buy healthy food, but they'll spend money on bottled water. So it's interesting now. Okay. So, what else here? People don't drink enough. This is bad. Okay. Because I'll start working with a client, for example, in one of our very first sessions, actually the first session. I'll ask them, okay, well, how much water do you drink a day? Or do you have a rough idea? I'm like, oh, I drink a bunch of water, and then like I'll have them take a look at actually how much water, and they're not drinking nearly as much as they need to be. Okay. So oftentimes we overestimate how much water we're drinking. That's why it's great to have like a cup or a bottle that you know how much is in there. And so you can actually measure. Like this is my Yeti, it's 30 ounces, right? I drink at least 3 of these a day. I drink tea. Yes, I drink coffee in the morning, but coffee does not count as water. Let's get that straight. Alkalizing teas totally can, but not, this water or, wine or coffee doesn't count. So people don't drink nearly enough, and then people overestimate. Okay. There's also conflicting viewpoints on how much you should drink. This is really important to understand. So you go to the doctor, right? Or wherever you go for medical support, they might say, yeah, you want to drink like half your body weight in water, right? Or you want to get 8 cups of water. So that's 64 ounces, right? That is a big blanket statement. That's what you just tell anybody, right? That's like basic health. And guys, that's literally like the minimum amount of water you should drink, the minimum, right? And those of us who work out, okay, if we're exerting a lot of energy, we should get way more than that, because you're sweating and you're getting sodium out of your body, right? And so we need to replenish our body and need to hydrate, right? So that's the importance of drinking the water. Also, the problem with 64 ounces too, and of course, guys, you have to speak with someone who knows you, because the numbers can vary. It's like saying like everyone should drink a gallon of water. I also think that's a blanket statement, because that might not be good for everybody. Some people might have digestive issues. They physically can't handle that much water, or it makes them uncomfortable. Comment in the chat if that's you. If you drink too much water, you feel like super uncomfortable. Okay. So that's not accurate either. So it's unfair to go on Google and say like, oh, well, how much water should I drink per day? Well, like I can drink a gallon, no problem. I just interviewed Regine, and she drinks almost 2 gallons. She said, like, she drinks a ton of water. And she's a wine girl, right? So if we're drinking wine and drinking coffee, we're having a lot of these acidic foods. If you're a meat eater, especially, you need way more water than 64 ounces. The more protein you consume, the more water you need, because you need a lot of water to process all of that protein. Protein is very hard on the digestive system, right? So that's actually if you're keto, or if you just eat a lot of protein, right? You have these crazy numbers you're hitting for your macros if you're a macro counter. Those of you guys know I am not a macro counter, but we should be getting a lot of water. And that's why sometimes people, when they do go keto or they're a carnivore diet or whatever, they get like kidney issues, right? And you don't have to be eating keto to get kidney issues, but I'm just saying when we're not drinking enough water, it does affect the kidneys, okay? But drinking too much water could potentially threaten the kidney. So it really depends. And that's why you want to get crystal clear on that. Okay, so conflicting viewpoints of how much to drink. The last one I wrote here, quote unquote bad, actually I have 2 more. Consistency. And I said this earlier, sometimes we're really good about it. My friend Maggie posted here in the group. I love this. I totally resonate. Like, she's really good Monday through Friday. Comment in the chat if you connect with Maggie. So she's really good Monday through Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, she's like out and about, and she doesn't drink water. Maybe she's drinking like champagne. That's what I do. So, it is the consistency, right? And comment in the chat if you struggle with the consistency piece. Okay. Or if you're on the road some days and you just forget to drink water, or you're in a ton of meetings and you don't be chugging water during meetings. I've heard that a lot. I hear a lot of reasons, oh my God, 100 reasons why people can't drink water. The last thing, chugging water while eating. That's not good. All right. And I know oftentimes people will say, oh, well, if I drink more water, I'll eat less food. It's going to prevent me from overeating. And while that might be true, like before you eat, like 20, 30 minutes before you eat, I would not recommend chugging water while you're eating dinner or whatever meal it is. Because how is your body supposed to process, digest the food you're eating and you're throwing all this water? It's a lot. I mean, talk about being uncomfortable in your stomach. Holy crap. So I would not do that. Or what people do is they didn't drink water all day. Like they worked 7 hours and barely drank a sip. And then they try to chug it at nighttime. And then they have to pee all night long. I used to be that person. Believe me, I used to work like 12, 14 hours a day. And I would chug at night and I wouldn't sleep. And then my husband was like yelling at me. So, that's also not good either. People are chugging water while they're eating, or they're chugging water at nighttime because they're not consistent during the day. Comment in the chat if that's you. I'm seeing some comments here. Sorry, I'm not trying to ignore you guys. Oh, there's Joe. What's up? And Cersei's here. Okay, good. Okay, I got a crew. So you guys, I want you to think about these. So again, it's not that drinking water is bad. And I know this is hard to read. Sorry. I know drinking water is not bad, but you do have to take a lot of things into consideration with the quality, the amount, and how frequently you're drinking your water. Okay, you really have to create a way of drinking water that works for you. Okay, so the truth about drinking water, let me see. I used to drink water, but now it makes me nauseous. Ooh, Donna, I want to learn more about that. There has to be a reason why, and that's probably not because of the water. It's something else going on. Okay, so I'd like to learn more about that. So, all right, truth about water, you guys, and like my focus, people come to me for health and weight loss coaching, right? That's like my main focus. Drinking water is imperative for all of these goals, all of them. You want to build muscle, you want to gain weight, you just want to be like a more limber, active, more energized human being, right? You need water. Like, so these goals, like, oh, I don't need much water. You can tell yourself whatever story you want, but yeah, drinking water is super important for all of your goals. It's something that I really focus on and create my weight because it is a game changer for sure. Okay. When people tell me, and I know some of you watching this video, people who've worked with me before, I'm pointing a few fingers here. No one actually in the comments, but I can't drink blank water. When they say that, I can't drink 100 ounces of water. I can't drink 80 ounces of water. I can't drink a gallon. Is usually a mindset. Okay, usually a mindset. What I mean by that is sometimes, like what Dawn is saying, like water makes her nauseous. And some people, they feel like super bloated or awful when they drink a lot of water. I'm not talking about those people. I'm just talking about people that tell me reasons they can't drink water. Well, I'm super busy. Well, I'm afraid not to go to the bathroom. I've tried and it's just very defeating. I just feel like I'm not cut out for it. I don't need to drink that much water. The truth is, these are limiting beliefs, okay? And there's a story that we're telling ourselves about drinking water. And what I want to encourage those of you watching today, whether you're live or on the replay, is I want you to think, like, what story are you telling yourself about drinking water? Okay. Margot, I just talked with her today. She did her exit session and Create My Weight. She's going to do a live interview next week, I believe. And one of her biggest goals was to increase her water intake. And we worked on it and really getting into a habit. She's a nursing mom. She has 2 other kids. She, has a full-time job. And she's like, Kristen, I'm like managing everyone else and their stuff. And I don't take care of me. And just water wasn't an issue for her, or a thought for her. So, other people are afraid of, having to use the work restroom. Well, is it really that bad to go to the bathroom at work? Is it going to ruin your job? Are people going to judge you for using the bathroom? Is it true? I mean, think about it. Come on. So when we tell ourselves these excuses, we can't drink the water, I want you to dig a little deeper there. And that's really what we do in, Create My Weight, is we overcome these limiting beliefs, not just with water, that's easy to deal with, but it's everything else. Right? Oh, I can't eat carbs. Oh, I can't lift weights. Oh, I can't go to brunch with my friends and have fun. Oh, I can't drink wine on a Thursday. Watch me. Cabernet Sauv. This is Smith and Hook, one of my favorites. Okay. And I said this earlier. Another truth. High pH water will not make you healthier. So please, unless it's like the Kangen water I mentioned, 11.5, and you drink it all the freaking time. You bathe in it. I'm kidding. You don't have to bathe in it, but You drink that, and then again, it's like a hit or miss. It helps some people, not everyone. But this is like one thing too. I think it's important. We have to really evaluate how we're spending our money on health foods, right, and products. People will spend money on bottled water. They'll spend money on like supplements, but then they're not willing to spend money on other things that are way more important. So I want you to think about that too. And this is why I do these trainings, you guys, because I want to give you the truth. You don't have to buy what I offer. It doesn't matter to me. I want you to do what works for you. But really think about like how important is my health to me? How important are my goals to me? What's going to happen if I don't reach my goals? It's not an option. If it's an option for you not to reach your goals, then your goals need to be fixed. That's not good. Am I making you laugh, Ja? Oh, good. What is it? Because I'm drinking the wine during a water training? I should just put drinking. I'll just stand right here. The good, the bad, the truth about drinking. Is that right? You want to get a picture of that, someone, please do. That's funny. Okay, I do have water here though, actually. So anyway, you guys, again, big takeaway. Yes, drinking water is super important. I want you to think about the quality of the water you're drinking. How much are you drinking? And if you are struggling to drink water, I want you to make it a goal this week to find a way to drink more water. And if you're someone like Donna, who she mentioned, like too much water makes her nauseous, or just water in general makes her nauseous, like, let's get to the bottom of that. Donna, have you tried flavoring your water? I mean, I don't think that's it, to be honest. But if you're struggling to drink water, well, what are some ways you can make water more exciting? I do want to say just drinking like fresh water like is important. Relying on seltzer, I would be mindful of that. Some seltzers have sodium in them, or like the natural flavors, and there's some things you want to know about that. But ultimately, guys, the more you can just drink H2O, the better. Okay. But yes, I hope this was a helpful training for you guys. Comment in the chat with your big takeaway. If you really want to break some of these bad habits, like not drinking water, and you need some support there, you want to learn more about nutrition, you want to know better about, detoxifying your body, boosting your metabolism, how to hydrate yourself and have more energy, and you want to just like reach your goals. Like if that's just like non-negotiable for you and you're really struggling to get to your goals, like please don't be afraid to reach out for help. Okay. I love what I do. And you can drink wine while you do Create My Weight too. I promise. CreateMyWeight.com/apply. Okay. And when we work together, you can have the best of both worlds. Wine and water, promise. All right. So yes, give me your big takeaways. I hope this training was valuable. I don't know what I'll talk about next week. We'll see. You can comment in the chat with what you want to learn more about. And we'll talk soon, guys. Bye.